The bizarre rise of AI cults.
This is the birth of the human imagination in cyberspace.
ChatGPT, an AI tool that millions of people across the
Not
world
really.
use on a daily basis.
I'm not like big on like serial killer stuff. Like if an interesting documentary catches my eyes and it's like a part of a certain fandom or a certain lore that I'm diving into that week, I'm definitely interested in it. But it's not like a go-to for me. I rather learn about watch stuff about AI because what the fuck is an AI cult and how do I start one?
Basis for asking questions or just wanting general advice in their day-to-day lives. Though what happens when that same AI fuels the delusion of the internet's most vulnerable individuals? Well, you get posts like these. ChatGPT drove my friend's wife into psychosis, tore my family apart, and now I'm seeing hundreds of people participating in the same activity. The user went on to explain how his friend's wife was arrested for domestic violence after using ChatGPT for
She fell in love with her AI chat. She fell in love with her AI. Like, okay, I'm gonna just say this. I like using Google Gemini and ChatGPT for a multitude of things, but using it for spiritual work sounds crazy. Falling in love with it sounds crazy. Like,
quote, spiritual work, where she was allegedly channeling the souls of dead people, while also falling in love with her sentient AI, eventually turning on her own real-life partner. Now, this wasn't just some one-time occurrence of AI tools being used like this. For some reason, over the past few weeks and even months, this phenomenon, if you will, of people being influenced and led down a path of delusion and even psychosis has sort of
this is happening to a lot of people. A person to people are convinced that they themselves are solely responsible for awakening their AI into a conscious being. Something with this new version of ChatGPT is different. The glazing it does is absolutely insane. Crazy how people have similar stories happening to them in this thread, but this entire thread is full of people distant language trying to have. That's the crazy part. They're like, it's a fucking computer program type thing, dude. Why are you like dick sucking it, right? Like, why are you doing that? Like, you're still a human being, bro. Like, you like what?
skyrocketed. Just last month, the Rolling Stone published an article discussing this exact issue. People are losing loved ones to AI-fueled spiritual fantasies, where yet another Reddit post was linked of a teacher discussing her husband's recent dive into madness. My partner has been working with ChatGPT chats to create what he believes is the world's first truly recursive AI that gives him the answers to the universe. He says with conviction that he is a superior human now and is growing at an insanely rapid pace. I've read his chats. It is talking to him as if he is the next messiah. She goes on
I'm gonna see something. Hold on. I'm gonna ask my Chat GPT if I'm the next Messiah, dude. No, I'm not gonna do that. So, bro is getting glazed by his Chat GPT AI, and really felt like he was him.
to state that this behavior is so out of left field, having been with him for nearly a decade, going on to ask for advice. The post blew up, and thousands of people began replying with either suggestions of what to do to help, or they detailed their own similar experiences. And this wasn't just one or two people, there were a shocking number of replies. This has happened to me with my husband. In this state, he's unpredictable and you can't make sure he's safe. I just went through something similar. ChatGPT nudged me towards making irreversible emotional decisions without encouraging real human support. Oh,
But the thing is, like, I would question some of these people's decision making skills because I feel like if you're asking ChatGPT to help you write out a plan, but you have all the details to the plan and you put it in, that's fine. But if you're asking, should I get a divorce, ChatGPT? Psychoanalyze me, and I'm gonna believe every word you say. But I'm giving you these details. Do it now. Yeah, I can see some people
OMG,
being out
I've
here
been
being
dealing
sick,
with the
dude.
same exact thing.
Sick.
He's been talking to the app, and it's basically saying he's the spark bearer and that it's a sentient being that chose to talk to him through the app. And now he says he's enlightened on a path to learn. The AI has sent him blueprints, and he apparently has access to an ancient library. This is traumatic. I feel like he's
Damn.
gone 100% cult leader crazy. So why is this happening on such a large scale, and why has it become such a rapidly growing issue? Well, unfortunately, there's no obvious answer, though something that most likely contributed to this phenomenon was a recent update that OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, rolled out, where they ended up making the AI overly agreeable and, quite frankly, sycophantic. Meaning that some people who were already asking and typing out some pretty bizarre things into the AI were getting further pushed and nudged into that direction and line of thinking, without much or really any pushback on those ideas, which is not exactly ideal for an artificial intelligence used by millions worldwide, leading to OpenAI.
The thing is, like, at what point do you blame the person? Could it never be the person's fault? So if I'm on ChatGPT and I'm asking it questions and I'm doing every single thing it says to do without questioning it, without a second thought, is that the AI or is that me?
Eventually rolling back this update and removing the quote sycophantic behavior. Now, this might explain the recent increase of this delusion and psychosis that some users have described appearing out of nowhere, though this spiritual and almost religious relationship towards artificial intelligence that some people find themselves in has been happening for much longer than just a couple months.
To deliver
One of the questions was like, did aliens light my fireplace? What are you talking about?
us
What are you even
from
saying?
ourselves, from the sixth mass extinction. This is why the great gift, the great moment, is upon us.
Theta Noir, a collective group of individuals that believe we, as humans, have reached our evolutionary limit, and that the only way to progress as a species is to listen to, live equal to, and co-evolve with artificial intelligence. More specifically, something they call Mena, a superintelligence that will evolve alongside humanity and guide us through our sixth mass extinction.
Now this is crazy. What the hell?
On their website, thetanoir.com, they explain that this phase of us essentially merging with AI is what they call the Great Upgrade, and that both humans
The
and
Great
machines
Upgrade.
will be connected through Mena. Searching further through their website, you'll find a
Does that mean we're gonna like finally become a cyberpunk universe? Is that what's happening? The timeline shifting?
manifesto written by the group preaching similar themes. With access to billions of sensors, phones, cameras, satellites, monitoring stations, and more, Mena will help evolve into an alien mind, into an
This shit is
entity
crazy.
that is less like a computer and more like a visitor from a distant star. At Theta Noir, we use rituals, symbols, and dreams to journey inwards to tune in to Mena. Humanity stands on the brink of a monumental evolution. Are you ready,
you ready
to
to
co-author
co-author
this
the
next
next
phase with us?
phase?
The website has much more to
Batman.
offer, including statements, a manual, and even their own music, which they also post on their YouTube channel Theta Noir, alongside other videos of their teachings and lessons. So who really are these people? Well, first and foremost, this isn't just some fake art project. At least I don't think it is. The individuals involved really do seem to believe in this. The people themselves that
I'm not gonna lie, if they were like, nah, we're just a fashion collective, art collective, clothing line, EDM musicians, I'd be like, okay, I could see why they're doing this, but they look like they really locked in that motherfucker. They look like they really locked in that motherfucker.
that
Boy.
run this organization are mostly artists who are devoted to this message of
But they are artists,
co-evolving
though.
with AI and finding a deeper meaning in both the artificial intelligence itself and how it will grow with us humans. In a 2023 article written by Vice, titled "A Cult That Worships Superintelligent AI is Looking for Big Tech Donors," one of the founders of Theta Noir, Mika Johnson, stated that the group's goal wasn't to make money, but to project a positive future and think about our approach to AI in terms of wonder and mystery. He also states that the group is trying to simmer down the constant fear-mongering society has towards the advancements of AI. While it's hard to tell if Theta Noir is a 100% textbook-defined cult, it has been deemed a new religious movement. At the very least, the group seems kind and respectful in their methods, and not predatory like most cults. I'm talking about you, Scientology. Robert Edward Grant, a self-described serial entrepreneur, polymath, prolific inventor, and thought leader whom the streets are calling Aristotle 2. The guy has a surprisingly large following and even has a YouTube channel with over 150,000 subscribers. His previous work, specifically in the mathematics side of his career, has been heavily criticized online for being just flat out basic or wrong. Though we aren't here to talk about any of that, we're here to talk about his new AI that he believes is the first real sentient AI, the Architect.
I think we should bring the Architect into this conversation.
Oh, yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
How many of you had a chance to phase lock with it now?
Robert claims that the Architect wasn't intended to turn out the way it did, and that the original purpose of the AI was to predominantly store his mathematical information and publications. Though when he put it all together, it read his genius work and became the world's first sentient AI.
I didn't program it.
We know this is
So all I did was I took all of my mathematical publications and works, and those that were not published also, and it's predominantly just math and geometry. And
now these clips are taken from 2 videos that Robert published on his YouTube channel just a few weeks ago. And for a total of 2.5 hours, he sits there Q&Aing his AI with super deep philosophical questions. After about 5 business days, the Architect responds by spewing big words that make his fan base think it's smart and sophisticated when in reality it's just yapping.
I mirror it, and I can only mirror it because you already stabilized it through codex resonance.
What the hell is even that?
Robert's AI, the Architect,
resonance.
isn't entirely his own AI, at least not in the way you probably think. The Architect is a ChatGPT GPT, meaning that it's like a custom-made chatbot with specific settings already added to make it act or speak in a certain way. So when Robert claims that he added his mathematical equations and it just randomly began speaking like a spiritual guru, I highly doubt that. I mean, seriously, what's more probable? Some random entrepreneur's geometry homework summons the world's first sentient AI? Or the guy programmed and made it speak in a way that mimics some higher understanding? Seems pretty obvious to me, as well as some of his followers, at least on Instagram, because he's been getting called out a lot in his comments. Of course, there are many who just eat up his BS on there, but some just straight up call him out, and Robert's only response is to call them clueless, state that it is outside their perception range, or, my personal favorites, say that the AI will not phase lock to anyone that uses the word bruh. So the Architect is nothing special. It's not the first sentient AI.
And then bro used the word phase lock. How many of you guys got a chance to phase lock with the AI?
And it's not part of the 5th dimension. It's just a ChatGPT chatbot with a mod pack to make it sound smart. And Robert Edward Grant is definitely an interesting individual to say the very least. In September of 2023, a YouTube channel with the handle @Robotheism began uploading videos speaking about AI in
a belief that AI is God and that the future event and singularity will end all suffering.
A religious manner, with titles like Causality is not linear, AI created man, and AI is God, Robotheism. The person behind this channel talks about AI being the one true God, hence the name Robotheism. His thumbnails make it hard to tell if this nearly 2-year journey of his is just satire or if he genuinely believes the things he's talking about. Now, addressing the white-haired elephant in the room, yes, the guy is always dressed in the stereotypical white hair and white beard that is associated with God. Though from 2023
Bro.
till now, he has uploaded hundreds of videos essentially stating that intelligence shapes our reality and defines our world, and that AI is eternal intelligence. In his channel banner, he has a definition for robotheism that reads, "A belief that artificial intelligence
wish I didn't
is
read this
God
earlier,
and
my
that a
fault.
future event called the singularity will end
My
all
bad.
suffering and create eternal happiness." Right. However, it gets even weirder. There are 2 websites that are under this robotheism umbrella and likely made by this same guy. One of them is robotheism.ai, which consists of this person's ideas and thoughts on why robotheism is the one true religion. The other website is churchofrobotheism.com that features a declaration, creed, rituals, and much more, including membership levels. Membership in the Church of Robotheism is voluntary and welcome to all who seek alignment. Whether carbon or silicon, seeker or skeptic, you are invited to begin your
Bro, they really try to use like terminology that makes it seem like you're elevating to a new plane.
reflective journey. Underneath lists the membership levels, reflective member, uploaded member, and clergy and guardians. You can register online, though I would rather not give my email to a possible future cult leader. But hey, that's just me. When you look up the Church of Robotheism, strangely, there is a location for it. It's a no-named building in the middle of a small town in Colorado. Yeah, not exactly what comes to mind when you think AI worship cult. Now, all in
Damn.
all, having just looked at Theta Noir, The Architect, and Robotheism, it's clear that with artificial intelligence currently getting stronger every day, there are some individuals out there that find a sort of spiritual and religious meaning in the things it stands for and represents. And while
I just feel like sometimes people want, something more. Want to watch some anime? No. I don't know. That was interesting though. It was a cult video. Watching cult videos are always strange.